Put it away.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hey, horror fans. Once again, it is me, the Horror Misermani G, welcoming you to another live stream with the Horror Hangout crew. And this time we're going to be talking about perhaps everyone's favorite action horror film that came out during the late 90s, and that is The Crow. Yes. And of course, we have our usual gang here. First of all, our fearless leader, Sean Patrick Urshan from the Horror Corner.
Woo! Yay!
Of course, we also have Jen and Velvet from Jen's Reviews from the Grave.
Penis!
Guten Tag.
Oh, man.
AF.
Our favorite, and Jen's favorite Irishman, Marty from the Trash Picture Show.
How you doing?
The lovely, beautiful, and talented Triv from Trivia Theater.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitress, try the veal.
And this is Sean's guest that brought us on here because he is a super fan of The Crow. This is Horror Fan 88.
Welcome.
Woohoo!
I just want to say thank you for inviting me as a guest. Not only is this my first episode, but we're discussing my favorite movie of all time. So 1-2 punch right there.
Perfect.
Yes.
Nice.
Sean did tell you that you absolutely simply love The Crow. So we're going to let you go first, since this is your favorite. I mean, when did you actually first see the movie of The Crow?
Well, I originally read some of the comic book by James O'Barr back in high school, and I just loved how dark it was. And it wasn't until a little bit later that I caught the film. And when I watched The Crow with Brandon Lee, it hit me very hard. And I just loved everything from the style to the gothic tone of it. Just everything about this film just hit me extremely hard. And it became my favorite movie of all time. And I just became in love with the overall thoughts of The Crow and all the incarnations and stuff. Oh, yeah. That original film to me is a masterpiece in every way.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, yeah, because when I first saw The Crow, I actually first saw it in theaters, and it was purely made because I didn't know it was bad at the time. I didn't know it was actually based on an actual comic book or a graphic novel. But the fact that I truly enjoy Brandon Lee's performance as a Crow, and of course, unfortunately, his tragic passing, which we'll get into that more later. But basically, I'm just talking about everyone's original thoughts about when they first saw The Crow. So, of course, Marty, he's obviously another good big fan of The Crow, and he's also read the comics as well. So, Marty, what do you thought about when you first saw the original Crow, and how did it actually compare from the source material?
I love the original Crow. I do acknowledge there's problems with it. Probably down to my own kind of fucking OCD nerd levels, but I mean, it was a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic movie that encompasses the kind of feel and mood at the time. The original comic is fantastic as well. Not without its flaws, but I think the movie does a fantastic job at capturing a lot of the elements from the comic. I think that the comic, and as a result of the movie and what happened in the movie, it's renowned for a very kind of dark kind of aura around it. Obviously, O'Barr wrote the comic as catharsis for getting over the death of his girlfriend. I think she was killed by a drunk driver. And then obviously you have the whole situation with Brandon Lee's death on the set. I think they're the kind of things that elevate The Crow movie and comic from being something that is a fairly solid comic to being something that is a very revered kind of cult status. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah. All right, Jen Velvet. When did you actually first see did you actually see it in theaters, or did you saw it on
I
V?
I
Saw it on.
saw. Oh, sorry.
Did you see it on VHS, or did you actually see it in theaters? Because I don't know how old you guys were when it first came out.
Well, I'm a 90s kid, so I probably in junior high. And the interesting, I'm going to be getting taken away my 90s card because I was the type of girl that everyone thought, oh, she is going to love The Crow. And my best friend, we went to go see it together. She was more into action movies. She really wasn't into the gothic kind of aesthetic at all. And we kind of came out opposites. I liked the movie for what it was, but I was not in love with the movie. It didn't hit me the way it did a lot of people of my generation. I acknowledge it was good, and then I had friends who told me it was based on a comic and why the comic even transpired. But I was never the biggest fan of The Crow. I liked it, didn't love it. Now my best friend, we actually had to go see it more than once, but it was because of her. And I was the goth gal, and she wasn't, and she loved it. Was one of her favorite films.
I always find it so weird that
Everyone does.
not the biggest Crow fan, considering you love gothic aesthetics and whatnot. Also, you love revenge stories, and it's like a quintessential revenge tale, in my opinion. And yet you still don't really vibe with it too much.
It is, and I'm kind of agree with Marty. Like, it's a great movie on its own, but I can't help but think that one of the reasons why is because of all the tragedy involved with it. It just never hit me, and I think I think that's why. I know we're going to discuss this later, but this is kind of why I am excited for the new Crow, because I think we're going to touch on themes. For me, it felt a little empty. I didn't feel like we knew their story that deeply. We did, but we didn't get it. We didn't go as deep as I would have liked. So and I think we're going to explore this with the trailer in the new movie. So The Crow's fine, but as a 90s kid, it's never done as much for me. And I rewatched it recently, and it even went down. And the thing that I take away with is Michael Wilcox and Ernie Hudson. Those are the ones, like, I love Brandon Lee. He was great, but those were the performances that struck me back then and even back now. Those are the ones I'm like, why aren't we talking about their performances as well?
Weren't the face of the movie and didn't have the tragedy linked to them. Plus, Michael Wilcox, one of the eternally underappreciated character actors.
True, but I mean, his performances is just.
Wilcox is a phenomenal antagonist for that film.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. He's definitely out of all the action films I saw, especially during the '90s, though he's not as good as Alan Rickman is. But he was a very credible villain, because in an action film, the villain or the bad guy should be just as integral to the film as the good guy.
Yes, I agree.
And I enjoyed him in other films as well, but he definitely played a decent good bad guy in the film.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
did, but he was always what struck with me.
For sure. For me, I was introduced to The Crow a little bit later in life due to the fact that I was dead when it came out.
You weren't alive.
I was in the cosmos. So I was introduced to it on home video. I can't remember.
Did Graham introduce it to you?
I believe sometime around there. It was around Halloween. It wasn't quite on Devil's Night, but it was around that same time. And I really, really dug it instantly. It was kind of one of my first introductions to like gothic subculture and a lot of these gothic themes and stuff. It was my introduction to The Cure. And a lot of bands on that soundtrack. And I just really, really vibed with it. And then I progressively went down the ever so disappointing journey of watching the other Crow films, and then slowly developing some sort of fondness for City of Angels and attempting to try to like Salvation. But it's one of those movies that just is always kind of just stuck with me throughout my life. I pretty much watch it every year on Devil's Night. It's a tradition for me to watch it on October 30th, and it's just a classic film in my opinion. It's one of my favorite films of the 90s. One of my favorite films. It's a quintessential revenge story in my opinion, and the tragedy from not just like its origin with Olbar creating it as like a sort of to memorialize his late girlfriend, but also like how it's been linked with the life of Brandon Lee and everything, and how it's all the tragedy, everything cut short. Just it's with the theme so well.
Yeah, it does. I think another reason why it doesn't work so well for me is, me, there's way harder revenge stories that I've seen earlier that kind of. Yeah. I think it's a little, for me, I know some people it might be very brutal, but for someone like me,
well, it doesn't really need to be brutal. It's trying to be a lot more like moody and gothic.
I get that.
That's the thing I love about The Crow is it's like a classic piece of like modern gothic literature. It's all about that. It's the embodiment of the subculture and the ideas of just getting like the pure emotion across more than like characters or stories. It's about the emotion that Olbar was trying to work through while writing it.
I guess I just never vibed with the character, so I couldn't get to the emotion part for me.
I get
I know, I know I'm going to get killed, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off. Like,
I'm sitting here going, he has more character in the movie than he does in the comic.
But I'm just, it just never vibed with me. I liked it, but I don't love it. And as a '90s kid, it's heresy.
Dan, what the way you talking about? Tom Servo.
MST3K.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, I know what he was referring to. Dan, you know the mic is going to get you, Dan. All right, Sean. Did you actually see The Crow in the movie theaters, or when did you actually first see The Crow?
I saw it in theaters. Yeah, I had an interesting history of this film because when I first found out about the comic, I was in art school, and there was this goth dude who was into all the Tim Burton stuff and doing all that style of drawing, and then he brought in the Crow comic from James O'Barr, and I was like, man, this is really creative. I love the gothic style, and then I was already a Brandon Lee fan, a huge Bruce Lee fan, so yeah. I went to see Rapid Fire in the theater and all that. And then I heard that Brandon Lee was going to play the character and that the movie's come. I was like, ooh, wow, this would be a really interesting way for Brandon Lee to kind of break out of the shadow of his father. And that this would be a real challenging role, something different. And boy, did he ever. I mean, he did an absolutely phenomenal job. And I feel like he's solidified himself as basically an icon off the strength of that one movie, you know. He just embodied the style, I feel, of the character from the comic book beautifully. Amazing performance, and I think the style of the movie is beautiful, the gothic tone, and it holds up so well, and that's why I think this remake is the most pointless thing I've ever heard of in my life. Because
we'll get to it.
Not like
we'll get about the remake in a minute.
Beautiful to look at. I love the action. I love the story. Yeah, like Velvet said, a perfect quintessential revenge story. It's masterful, and and the tragedy of Brandon Lee's passing almost makes it even more like powerful and meaningful in a way, but a sad way. But yeah, excellent movie.
You know what, Dan? I think the Miser and the Dark Fate will team up.
Oh no! October will be here before we know it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Careful what you wish for.
Yep. All right, Trev, did you actually see The Crow in theaters?
I saw it in college, so I was a bit late to the party as well. But I saw it as part of like a midnight marathon thing, and it was one of those things that I was in the process of studying media, so I was kind of in that world, and to be able to see the production values and what they did, and like looking into like how they achieved those effects, really, like I know it's a different route, but it really cemented the movie as a real fave of mine. Also, you'd look at the aesthetic of like that late or that mid 90s feel, like everything from Dark Man to Dark City, and they all kind of use that same effect. But it's done, I think, peak here. Not that those aren't awesome, but it just, I don't know, this has such a unique vibe. And I guess everything else everybody else has said, like there's the charisma that you get from the villain and just the aesthetic of the space. It feels lived in. It feels like the most recent Batman movie. It feels like a space that people inhabit.
And the city is almost its own character.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And it's like that. It's like you go back to like 50s noir and you get like the naked city and it's raw and it's just, it's there. It's going to eat you up if you're not careful. And one thing I always go for, like, I always enjoy a little bit of comedy with my horror, and the fact that Brandon Lee, or maybe it's just within the character, I apologize, I don't know the comics, but like he's able to balance, like he's still him, even though he's on this trail of vengeance. You know, he's still, like when he has the conversation with Ernie Hudson, it's just, you know, he's like, are you alive or dead? He's like, boo, you know, it's just, you know, there's just, I don't know, there's so much life to the character beyond just a killing machine, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then and
absolutely.
now you don't always get that.
Yeah.
Good points.
Yeah, yeah, because like I said, for me, at the time, I love Rapid Fire. Brandon Lee, interesting story. When I went to go see Rapid Fire, it was just me and my boys and a couple other, another dude and his girlfriend. We were the only ones in the theater seeing Rapid Fire. And of course, me and my friends, being the morbid sense of humor that we have, we get to the end of the film where the bad guy puts him into the third rail, and we say, and we go Frankie because he's being electrocuted. Then he gets run over by a train, and we cracked the hell up. One of my boys fell on the floor, cracked up laughing, and by the time the whole movie was over, the other boy came down the street that he said we embarrassed her in front of his girlfriend. We couldn't help it. Shit was funny. We couldn't help it. Yeah, but that's when I became a Brandon Lee fan, and to me, I actually thought The Crow was just another action film. I wasn't expecting anything big about it, so I was very impressed. Not because it was just another action film, just how well it was. The city was a character itself. What was happening in the city, and even the bad guys.
Oh yeah.
Devils,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those guys were cracking me up, and then Ernie Hudson playing this character right there. I actually thought that's what really made me enjoy the whole movie. Was the whole entire film was done nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was way better than I thought. And now that you brought up Tim Burton's Batman, I think that city was just as dark as Tim Burton's Gotham City was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
What a great score too, huh? I mean,
God,
perfect
yeah.
balance of like what was going on at the time, the techno industrial with the grunge rock and the
So Horror Fan 88, was it the music that you really enjoyed? Because I know that's another aspect of The Crow is the music.
Yeah. The Crow was also my introduction to The Cure, and now I'm a massive fan.
Yes.
I think that song fits so perfect with the film. And just the overall score itself, to me, is beautifully haunting and very atmospheric. But even the whole soundtrack in itself is just filled with great bands, and they do a great job of incorporating music into the film itself. And yeah, I get giddy talking about it because I can.
You can tell.
But yeah, one other point I just wanted to make real quick. I think one of the reasons it's never bothered me personally that this became a quite long-running franchise. I think it never bothered me because none of the sequels are about Eric Draven, and that's the thing as well. Eric is not the only Crow throughout time; he's just the most well-known.
yeah, true.
For obvious reasons, he's my favorite as well. But I'm sure we'll touch on them. But I've always somewhat defended City of Angels and
Same. I've grown to fondness for it. Is it a great film? It has issues, but there's a nugget of a film that I love in there.
yes.
I don't kind of hold City Angels kind of overall performance with too much hate because that the director, that wasn't the director's fault, it wasn't the actor's.
studio
that movie
messed
was
him up.
butchered.
Yeah.
That was fucking Weinstein the gobshite as per
I've
usual.
heard that.
Yeah.
There's so much of that movie that got cut out, and yet there's little bits of it that got left in. So now parts of the movie just don't make goddamn sense.
A lot of studio interference, huh?
Yeah.
I
I was gonna say my only issue with any of the sequels is the fourth one, and it's mostly just Edward Furlong.
Oh, Wicked Prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it goes.
I have a weird fondness for Wicked Prayer.
Oh, that's okay.
It is not good, but I weirdly have a fondness for it.
Danny Trejo?
Danny Trejo doing a rain dance
Oh,
is
yeah.
a choice. That was a
Oh, man.
choice.
Yeah.
I have not seen any of the Crow sequels, mainly because everyone said how bad they are. So I can't comment on any of them other than what other people have said, but I haven't seen them. I just know it's like no, this is terrible. This is terrible. That's terrible. Do you think the reason why they make the sequels was it because of the popularity and they just couldn't try to do what the creator did, was create different crows, because you didn't have to do another direct sequel? Why just use the other crows besides Eric Draven?
Yeah, I also think one of the main reasons that the sequels are hated, for a majority of people, even growing up hearing this, is that none of the people that watched them or just kind of was like, I'm not watching those, it's because some of them think they're still Eric Draven.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Ash Corvin, it's Alex Corvus, it's Jimmy Cuervo, it's different people. It's just Brandon Lee's character in The Crow is so iconic that most people link him to The Crow. He is the Crow.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So
It's
Well-
the Horror Fan 88. Another thing is though, they while they do make new characters, they try and keep the aesthetics of the characters in the sequels,
Yeah.
which is a total disadvantage as well. It's like, okay, leather jacket, long hair, grease paint, yeah, but come on, fucking mix it up a bit. And again, it sucks where it's like, well, why can't you make this crow more different? Or this crow is from this kind of ethnic minority. Why can't you incorporate that into the character? It always has to be long coat, eye makeup, dark hair. They don't fucking take a chance on it, and I think that's what hobbles the sequels as well.
That was
Salvation
something that
had
always-
a jumpsuit.
And it's the worst one because of it. That was the thing when I finally got to reading the other comics later in life. I was so confused by why did you do that? Like, I understand because studios are not remotely creative, so they're just like, let's just copy and paste the template that worked so well the first time. But yeah, it really does. Like, each crow from the comics all have such a drastically different feel from the classic Eric Draven one. None of them pretty much really follow the same template of grease paint and long leather coat. There's elements of it in there, but they all have their own distinct personality that I really like, and I feel like would have really helped the sequels stand out from just feeling like, oh, they're just doing another
Eric Draven.
another Eric Draven story, because we don't need another Eric Draven story. We already have a perfect version of Eric Draven. Why the fuck would you do another movie following Eric Draven? I'm not setting up for anything later.
I'm sensing a little bit of tension. Maybe you need to tell us how you really feel. Just let it out. You'll feel better.
Please don't.
We'll get to that when we start talking about the remake.
I'm going to
I
be the
did
only
go to
defender of
see,
this remake, aren't I?
Yes, probably.
Are you about to say, Sean?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
John.
did go see City of Angels, and I guess I am kind of guilty of that. I was expecting another like Eric Draven type thing with a
Mhm.
like how do you? But then I was like, how do you follow that up? And you don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe they should have done something different with it. Maybe it would have been more interesting, But they tried to still make it like that with the goth soundtrack and the.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong about this. Horror fan or Marty, you would probably know this for sure. Wasn't the original idea was Shelley was going to be the crow for City of Angels, but they scrapped that idea because they didn't want to have a female lead.
Miramax is like, a woman, a crow.
Yeah, we can't have a
Are you
female
fucking
crow.
mad?
Yeah,
Kind of.
Harvey Weinstein is like, she belongs on my couch, and that's it.
exactly.
She doesn't come and visit me in my hotel room. She doesn't get the role. Fuck you, Harvey.
I heard Rob Zombie was supposed to do one, wasn't he?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see him attempt to do his take on this character.
Hillbilly Crows!
No,
Hillbilly Crows!
Wasn't that Jimmy Cuervo?
I don't know if it would have worked great, but I at least know Zombie would have done something drastically different and in a different style than the other films tried to follow. So I
Yeah, he
think it
would've.
could have possibly worked. Maybe not great, but it could have at least been interesting.
Yeah, that's one thing you can say for Zombie.
Yeah.
I just had this vision of leather overalls.
Exactly.
On a Carhartt.
It's Bill Moseley, of course.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna feed the pigs. Yeah.
So the
No,
Crow
no.
meets Deliverance is kind of where you're going, aren't you?
To some
Okay,
extent.
that being said, That being said, Richard Brake playing like a version of Top Dollar for the new movie would have been phenomenal
That would've been
casting.
cool.
Yeah, would have been.
I think he would have.
No
I think he would have
trailer
cast him.
park.
I think he definitely would have cast him in the role. But come on, he can't continue to put hillbillies in his movies.
I'm
I
okay
mean, he
with
can
it.
choose to. It may not. It's a choice.
I mean,
Whatever way
Gothic,
you think.
you know,
I-
Southern Gothic kind of feel, Gothic Appalachia feel could work. I could see it.
I can't help but feel like, I've come back to avenge my sister and my wife.
wife.
We're both the same person.
And my mom.
Damn it.
Guess who's gonna play her?
Girl Moon Zombie.
Now, I could yell out a big yeehaw in the theater with that. I'd be like, yeehaw!
He'll have his wife in that goddamn white horse.
Just throw a white horse in there.
Pony!
Oh man,
Symbolism.
that's the only thing you can get out of that. It's symbolism. Symbolism.
What does it symbolize? Symbolism.
Symbolism.
It's the best
Yeah,
thing to
because-
symbolize.
Yeah, because when looking at the soundtrack, they did have some decent groups in there. You had the Jesus and Mary Chain, Rage Against the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
STP, Nine Inch Nails, Violent
Yep.
Femmes, Cure, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff on that original soundtrack that really shaped the movie. And that's one thing. That's one thing. Like, there's some of the changes from the comic to the film that I do sort of have a few issues with personally. But that is one thing that I actually do feel works better, because in the original comic, Eric was just a mechanic, and he would just for some reason look like Robert Plant from The Cure. Whereas with the movie, they changed him to a rocker, and they made that kind of an integral part of the DNA of the film, and I really think that was actually a really great idea on Alex Proyas's part.
Yeah. Now, when you're looking at the film itself, obviously, we get to see the death scene first of all, and I think if there was any type of nitpick I would have with The Crow is that we don't get any type of character building up between Eric and Shelley.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, that's
not at the time, but at the time I really didn't care because I was more interested in the action. Do you think that we should have gotten a more background, a little bit character development between their relationship?
Yes. Yeah, that was one of my big problems. How can I care about these characters when I don't really know them? And like, they're supposed to have this great love story. Why do you have this? And that's why, again, I think I'm setting up for something later. That's why I'm kind of excited, because a little bit we've seen from the previews for the new upcoming film is it looks like we're going to get quite a backstory with these two. And if you know their backstory, you can fall in love with the characters too. I couldn't connect with them.
I never once have had that problem when it comes to them. I found the little bit that we get to see of the two of them together works really works really well. It's just a great tragic story of two people who are madly in love cut down short because of
But
the
why
cruel
are
world.
they madly in love? That was always
Because
my
they're
question.
madly in love. Who cares?
So I need a
Just
story.
accept it.
Well, and there is that thing about 90s movies, 80s movies as well. Like, we get so much backstory on every single character nowadays.
Sometimes
and I'm
it's
not
too
saying
much,
right. There is balance with any of this stuff. And I think at that point, that was just kind of the way that they did stuff. They present these moments that kind of highlight their relationship. In later ones, you get a single photo of them, looking mildly interested in each other, and it's called a day, She was the love of my life, God damn it! You knew her for 15 minutes. I don't care. I loved her.
yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like that's like the issue with The Crow. Like, they give more backstory to Shelley and Draven than say like the John Wick films do with him and his wife. And I've never heard anyone really have that be an issue with those movies. And they're both revenge stories of someone getting back into the world for taking their loved one away.
But
so
because of the dog, I haven't watched those films.
I know you haven't.
Yeah, I know. I think because of John Wick, because we see because I think it's one of the great things Keanu Reeves does in the film. At the beginning part of the film, we see his pain, we see his anguish, and even though we really don't get to see any part of his wife, but we see his pain, his anguish, and then we see the puppy in the film. And we know I think this reason why we feel sorry for him, even though we never get to see his girlfriend at all. We just know that his wife just died. then of course the stupid ass Russian.
Those goddamn Russians.
Monty, the other cool thing is with John Wick as well, you have his former boss said he fucking completed a mission that no one completed.
No one could have
I know, yeah,
completed.
because he loved this woman. So it's like, how many fucking dudes did he kill before he could be with this woman? So that's kind of that's what I like about that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Marty? It's like your and Jen love story.
Yeah.
Horror fan, who is your favorite character as far as the bad guys is concerned in The Crow?
I mean, they all have their own unique kind of personality. I mean, Top Dollar is obviously the big bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People like Fun Boy or Tintin or Skank, they are all fun in their own way. But I would say Top Dollar because he's the big bad. But I kind of have a little fun soft spot for Fun Boy because he's so stupid.
He is. He's stupid, but he's funny.
like he gets shot in the leg. Look what you've done to my shit.
God damn it. I feel if we videotaped this and played it backwards, it'd be a lot more coherent.
Hey, Sean just laughed.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You did it.
Good job.
Yay.
You did it, Patrick. Feel proud he got Sean to laugh. Don't it? Cameron doesn't want to be still.
I'd go with Fun Boy. You know, just all that type of fire it up, fire it up, fire it up.
All right, Trip. Who is your favorite bad guy in the film?
For the first one, I really enjoyed Tintin. He was just kind of, I don't know, like I just really enjoyed his character and the way he went out like a stuck pig. I don't know, like he just kind of kept coming. It's like, you know, your knives became the thing that ended you. R.I.P. Also, a special mention or honorable mention to Iggy Pop, just because I did not expect to see Iggy Pop.
I know, right?
But that's a different movie. So anyway.
All right, Velvet Jen.
For me, actually, much like Triv, honorable mention to one from City of Angels. I love seeing Iggy Pop, of course, but also honorable mention just because I'm such a Power Rangers fan to Thuy Trang in that movie. It was her last role before she passed in the car crash, and she actually showed she had a lot of acting chops, and she was and her fight scene's probably one of the highlights of that film. Honestly, I really liked how her dynamic worked with the Crow of that film, actually. But I gotta give it fucking to Michael Wilcox. The Crow is the movie that made Michael Wilcox one of my favorite like unsung heroes of character actors. Like I was so goddamn excited when I saw that he was cast in Jordan Peele's Nope a while back, and like that performance in that movie just amazing. But I'll always think of him back whenever it comes to The Crow with Wilcox, and just the little things he adds to the role. Like he's such a sinister, evil motherfucker, but also he has so much damn charisma and has some of the best lines of the goddamn movie.
Yeah, he does. He steals the show for me.
Yeah. So it's just it's such a fantastic performance and one of the best villain performances in 90s movies, in my opinion, that no one really talks about how good Michael Wilcox is in that role.
Yeah, I've said that too. For me, Michael Wilcox all the way, because that was the one highlight of the movie. And I, again, blasphemy, I know, but that was the thing that made me sit up and go, God, this guy's good. And I remember telling my friend at the time, I'm like, I know I've seen him somewhere. And then when it was like the voice, I told Holly, it's the voice. And then when I realized who it was, I was like, oh my God, of course. And I was just so happy. What I like about his character is he is so intelligent. Like there's this charisma to him, but it isn't just the charisma. Like this guy is smart. And I love how he delivers the line. You think there's anything that doesn't happen in this city that I don't know about? Yeah. And that is just such a powerful, that line, just, I love the way that delivery is and just the whole thing. And I like how he's like a snake. He'll kill you as quick as he'll smile smile at you. He'll just boom.
Oh God damn it! You're not dead yet.
Yeah, exactly. Just that's what that he was. What the part of the Crow that really worked for me.
Can I also add real quick? Justice for Tony Todd, who never gets acknowledged, is in this damn movie.
I was about to say that too.
Even I also forget Tony Todd's the right hand
yeah.
man for this movie.
And Ernie Hudson too. I feel Ernie Hudson is unsung.
Ernie Hudson's at least like, but because even I forget, even as much as I love this movie and I love Tony Todd, even I forget that he's like the right hand man for this movie for a lot sometimes, and he's really great in like the tiny bit part that it really is. He's really great and shows a lot of like potential that you would see him really take on later on in his career.
He is exactly what his character is in the movie. He is a behind the scenes guy. I'm cleaning up. I'm taking care of shit, and so he does it so well. The audience sort of forgets that he's there. He blends in.
Yeah, very much so.
So, but phenomenal. Tony fucking Todd.
That is all that needs to be said.
Basically, yes.
All right, Sean, who is your favorite bad guy?
Oh yeah, Michael Wilcox, easily. Very charismatic, great performance. I love how he just doesn't give a shit. You know, he's almost like a Lestat in a way, almost like
a little bit
a cool kind of vampish quality at the same time to Brandon's Louis almost. But very captivating, great performance. Yeah.
Hey Ben.
Hi Ben.
Hey Ben.
Ben.
Howdy.
Call Ben. Suck you dead.
It was after she got the eye implant, right?
No, we're not talking about Alone in the Dark. Sorry, Ben. All right, Monty, who's your favorite bad guy in this particular film?
Obviously, Michael Winscott's top dollar is brilliant, but I think he's enhanced. And Patrick mentions her. Bylin's Maya.
Yeah.
So fucking on inch. You have pretty eyes.
Like, I want
what the fuck? And she's his half fucking
She's his half sister.
And they're fucking bumping uglies.
Don't say it, Jen.
I love the bit where like they've just had sex and all
she's a half sister, Jen.
I mean, what's closer than family?
Exactly.
God damn it.
I mean, if Marty and I found out we were related, I'd be like, okay, we've gone too far now, I guess.
God damn it. Stop trying to make your life passions.
And I always
Too late
tell
to
him
turn
that
back now.
Yep.
God damn it.
There's a brilliant line Michael Winscott delivers where like he's looking at this child's snow globe and he's like, yeah. My father told me the moment you're born, you die. They're like, that encompasses the dude's fucking outlook on existence.
Yeah.
Right fucking there. And that's what makes him a great guy. And I think Bylin's Maya fucking complements that so well as well.
Absolutely.
Does.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
oh,
go ahead, Trip.
I was just gonna say the only role that this is better than is her role in Samurai Cop 2.
I'm impressed. I'm just in awe right now. I'm fucking impressed.
I don't know, Triff. She was pretty good in Crank 2, where she's trying to fuck Jason Statham while he's on fire. I love that. She ends up setting fire as well.
Impressive.
So, do we call her Fire Crotch now, or
Don't give Jen ideas.
All flammable stuff just hidden.
Anything can be flammable if you really work at it.
Exactly. If you rub on it hard enough, I find you gotta love.
So much friction.
But you need a little lube too sometimes. Just a little.
Those movies are bonkers, by the way, Marty.
I love the Crank movies. They're fucking stupid. But
I know they're crazy.
Oh my god!
I never saw the second one, but if it was just as crazy as the first one, then
Crank High Voltage is better than the first one. I love Crank High Voltage.
And I didn't see the second one, but I saw the first one. It's like, good grief. And then I said, what? Jason Statham died in the movie? Woo.
Yeah, but he got better. He got better. Movie. He died, but he got better.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, I think Beiling in this particular film, I mean, she was just great, despite the fact she has limited lines, but just her presence in the film, you know, her relationship with Top Dollar and some of the crazy stuff that they say. Just like in the like when we see them first together, he actually says, "Damn, I think we wore this girl out, and I think she's dead."
You know, but her boobs were still perky.
Yeah, exactly. I noticed that too. I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed that.
It's the little details that you got to pay attention to.
It really is. I mean, just because you're dead, if your tits are still great, you can go for one more ride, right?
That or your turkey is just done one way or the other.
There you go.
Or you could do both. Fuck it and eat it.
What are you going on about, woman?
You know, I'm just not wasteful.
I'm not bringing you to my folks for Christmas dinner. That's all I'm saying.
Just make sure they serve ham and not turkey. You're okay then.
All right, Horror Fan 88, what is your favorite action scene in the film?
I'm honestly, I'm stuck between two. And that is the first time that Eric actually comes out of the shadow and, you know, fuck you all painted up for it. Ain't Halloween till manana. But for me personally, the one where he walks right into Top Dollar's big meeting and it's just want him, and then
I just want him.
Good one.
Yeah, probably that, because they just unload on him and they're like, he's gone. Boom! And he takes out everybody. I love when he grabs the katana sword and just, you're all going to die. But it really caps off for me when he grabs Skank and he's like, guess it's not a good day to be a bad guy, huh, Skank?
Oh man, those lines crack me up. All right, Trip, what's your favorite action scene in the film?
It's unorthodox and it's not necessarily an action scene per se, but I really enjoy them beating, like just destroying the pawn shop. Like I just that whole scene, like as he's like loading the rings into the gun and like, you know, shooting the shit out of everything.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Is that gasoline I smell?
There's just something, I don't know, that just wanton destruction of a real just piece of shit in human being I just enjoyed so much.
Oh yeah.
All right, Velvet Jen, what was your favorite action scene in the film?
Again, I do love the first one, like the Horror Fan was talking about with the little Tintin and the knives and everything. I love that whole sequence and him running across the buildings right before that. But for much like Triv, it's not technically a full-on action scene, but I love the car chase and then the conclusion to that with the driving off the bridge and everything, and then him lighting the crow mark into the ground with the gasoline and stuff. I just love that whole sequence, and you have the one character just going on about how you can't come back, it's not how it works, everything. I just love every single thing about that scene. That's probably my favorite scene of the whole movie from just like a visual standpoint. I think everything about that's so damn striking and beautiful.
I get you. It is a good scene. For me, I definitely think one that I actually really like is when we're getting it from Shelley's kind of her memories and of them breaking into the apartment.
The assault.
Yes, I like the way it's shot. I like how it's black and white and how it's just love the aesthetic. I also really like the scene later down in the movie when they're like, "We killed you. We killed you."
Yeah.
And those are, besides the Michael Wilcox, those are the ones that really stand out.
Yeah.
But the scene where she's basically flashbacks and you're seeing it through Shelley's eyes, but you're also kind of seeing it through Eric. And stuff, and him imagining what she went through, and you can feel the rage building in him to avenge her. I thought that was handled very well. For all the problems I had with the movie, I thought that was done brilliantly.
Absolutely.
So,
all right, Sean, what was your favorite action scene in the film?
I'd say like what Horror Fan 88 mentioned, you know, when he walks into the meeting. I mean, yeah, that is badass.
It's a great gunfight.
When he whips out the sword and yeah, that's. I gotta say, I like how Brandon Lee was saying how he didn't want to use too many full-on kung fu moves because he didn't want it to be like a martial arts movie. He wanted it to be more traditional fighting style.
Good choice.
That comes off in the movie. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the
I
one.
suppose he didn't want to coast off his dad. Like he's like, I'm
Right.
my own person.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's one of the things I enjoyed about the film was that he does not do a lot of martial arts. Obviously he did that in Rapid Fire, but in this film it's just regular fighting. A brawler style, no real martial arts. In the film, and I was kind of glad that they decided to go that route. Because unfortunately, a lot of people, because I'm pretty sure it was a lot of expectation put on him because of who his father was. But I'm glad that he was able to not, go ahead and do his own type of fighting style, but not try to copy his dad.
Yeah.
And it fits the movie really well because, like, why would this random rock musician know how to do like this intricate martial arts shit? It would make sense that he would just be like a brawler and shit. That makes way more sense.
Especially that he's a rocker.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you beat a guitar into the ground, you're gonna beat someone's head into the ground.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. If I could interject for a second, if you ever do want to see Eric Draven pull out, karate and kung fu, then you'd have to watch the TV show.
Yes.
Pick up the TV
At your local movie store or Amazon.
Good luck. It's incredibly out of print.
Damn it.
That.
And visit your local half-price books.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I only have 5 episodes of it, and I think it's fun. It's stupid.
It's not the original, but it has its own charm in a way.
That's what I've heard a few people say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they actually? Was that supposed to be a continuing serial-sized show? Was just like a procedural? Just like the TV show.
It kind of Horrorman 88. You probably it kind of works as kind of a soft reboot, right?
Yeah.
It you could use it as a sequel, but it's like, okay, here's what Eric Draven might have done in another universe or something like that. But it's good. It's serviceable. Like,
It's fine. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's Clue. In other words, here's what could have happened.
Basically, yeah. It's a clue.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think how can you make that into a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, all honesty, Mark Dacascos as Eric Draven is not bad.
No, he's not
Mhm.
actually.
pretty good.
But it also has that episode of the week feel where like someone's just like, "Hey, there's this," mystery," and then Eric go solve it or something. So
Yeah. It's very Monster of the Week. It's very much like that. Yeah.
Like I think there was one episode where he took on fucking ninjas, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
You know
we're
what?
doing this, I guess.
You're the crow. You take on whoever comes at you, even if it's ninjas.
Exactly.
I'm gonna kick some ninja ass.
That's right. I mean, imagine the puns. You could have so much fun. I sure gonna whip your ass.
God damn it.
Sorry.
I love that.
I'll just.
No.
We'll headbutt.
There we go.
Watch my crow style.
I need
crow
to trim my crow.
No, that
No,
one didn't work.
no.
That one did not work.
No.
That one did not work. You failed.
Sorry, Jen.
I need volume.
Jen, we love you.
Why?
Oh man.
My
All
crow being a metaphor for
I get it. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man. I feel you, Marty.
How can you? You guys are like 1,000 miles away. How can you feel him?
Oh, trust me, I can.
God damn it.
Every once in a
believe
while
it.
I get a shiver. I'm like, Jen's getting amorous.
Oh man. What's that little girl's name? Was that Sarah?
Shelley. Or yeah, Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah. What about that relationship between Eric and Shelley's relationship with Sarah? Because she, even though she doesn't get that much screen time, she does play an integral part in the film, even though it's a typical child in danger thing.
Mhm.
yeah.
What do you think about that, Horror Fan 88?
I like their relationship overall. I mean, the character of Sarah in general does not have a very good life, and she's very her own person.
Mm-hmm.
You really strip away her surrogate parents, I suppose. You really feel bad for the character. But I mean, even in the TV show, it kind of felt like they were trying to do the same thing, but it was okay.
What about you, Trip?
Yeah, you know what? She was less annoying of a kid actor than a lot of kids of that time, and certainly less annoying than Edward Furlong as the Crow.
Wait, I will not have slander against Edward Furlong. Pet Cemetery 2, people. Pet Cemetery 2.
No. I mean his Jimmy Cuervo character specifically. I don't mean Edward Furlong generally. I just mean I can't.
That's okay.
We're just talking about fucking Native American Edward Furlong.
But he's not Native American.
Yeah, but it's the early 2000s, so we don't care about that stuff.
It was 2006. That's not early 2000s. No point taken.
Yeah.
All right, Velvet Jen.
Shelley's an interesting one for me, or Sarah's an interesting one because was a creation for the movie, basically to just kind of fill in. She basically fills the point of the text boxes in the original comic. She was a creation for the movie, but she weirdly fits in really well to it. Like Trigger said, she could have easily been this super annoying kid character that a lot of movies felt to interject a lot of the time, but she doesn't. There's a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of tragedy to it, and especially if you include in stuff with like her coming back in City of Angels and stuff. Girl had a really horrible life pretty much the entire time. It never got much better for her. So like it's so I do feel like she works really well. Is she completely necessary? And can I see why it seems like we're going to cut her out for the remake? I can get it, but I also don't think she's a bad part of the original movie. I know some Crow fans really dislike her and wish they completely got rid of her. I don't. I think she's fine. I think the actress did a really good job in the role and carried a lot of the film for her. I have no issue with her.
I'm weirdly with you on this one. I actually like. She's not annoying. She does have a very tragic backstory. And it does, like me being a complete hypocrite now, it does give a little bit of insight into what Shelley and Eric are like, because they kind of are surrogate parents. They can tell, and they're pretty young, but they can still tell this girl needs help. So they're kind of surrogate parents. The only issue, and it's not so much with Sarah, but it's with there is a scene.
Her mom.
Yes, her mom. And for me, I thought, I would have preferred a little darker, like because the mom kind of does a 180, and I'm like, I think I would have preferred that if Eric would have killed his mom too, and she would have gone with Ernie Hudson, because I didn't think the mom deserved what she got. Like she kind of turns around, and I'm like, that's a little too syrupy for me. I would have preferred. I felt like she kind of deserved to be punished too, because she was such a horrible mother.
I never had an issue with it,
but that was one of. I always thought it would have worked better if she would have been killed too.
Bonjour, Dice.
So
bonjour.
But that's just me. I'm dark, but I thought the mother deserved to die too. I know she sort of turns around toward the end, but I was like, no, bitch, you deserve to die.
It would have been a bit jarring if Eric blew off her head with a sawn-off shotgun.
Yeah.
I mean, for being a terrible mother, I think that's a worth. I know it's just about it, but I mean, they cared about her too. So like, you're a bad mother, so you deserve to be punished. I just thought she deserved to be punished. I thought she got off too easy.
Social workers have you over in
that's what my dad teaches. So I know quite a few.
It also is like, you have to remember, like Eric. It's never outright say, but Eric's implied to have like mild mind reading or telepathy abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
So he touches her and kind of can tell, okay, there is some good in her. I just need to kind of guide her in the right direction.
I was a little hokey. I thought sometimes that's not real life. I think not very many people can turn around. I just thought she should pay. That's just me.
She says with a bow in her hair.
I'm
dark.
I'm fucking dark, Dice. I'm fucking dark. It's a crow, by the way. Damn it.
So dark. She's so dark with her Care Bears.
But no, you get what I mean, right?
I disagree, but I understand where you're coming from.
Do you guys disagree? I mean, feel free to disagree. That's what I thought. I just thought the mother kind of got off, and we got too syrupy of a happy. I don't like happy.
I know, babe, I'm with you. I do think it's very kind of Deus Ex Machina, where like he grabs her arm and literally fucking sucks or pulls out the fucking heroin out of her system. I think that's a bit too kind of neat with a bow, but I don't know.
Look,
killing
Jen,
her?
the movie's
Jesus.
not dark
Maybe-
and grim enough for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
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 maybe-
actually, that's one of my problems. It isn't dark enough for me.
I am the night.
maybe if her lifestyle was the result of her death, maybe if she OD'd or
Yeah.
one of the fuckheads killed her or something like that. But
Yeah.
it would definitely knock down the kind of virtuous kind of quest that
Yes.
Eric could be on if he had killed her. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, it feels weird if Eric would have killed her.
Okay, I agree with you and Marty then, but I still think she should have died. How she died, but like I think she still should have died for being a shitty mother. So, yeah, I do. I've always had that problem. I had it back then and I had it when I rewatched it.
Jen Mitchell, social worker.
All right, what about you, Sean?
I thought their relationship was kind of sweet. It brought a nice little light vibe to a very dark and gothic movie, you know.
Mhm.
And you know, she had a dark background, like you said. You know, I felt like he was almost like a guardian angel to her in a way.
Yeah. It was. That's a good point.
Yeah, very much so.
That's kind of his whole thing, the avenging angel kind of.
Mhm.
Mhm. All right, what about you, Marty?
I think Sarah was a good addition because it heightens the sadness. You see, as Jen pointed out, they were surrogate parents to her, and they're like, fuck, these two could have been fantastic parents if they had kids of their own. But
Mhm.
because of these fucking assholes now, that's never going to happen.
Mhm.
And it heightens that. It's like, yeah, they were great. They were fantastic surrogate parents for Sarah. And the actress who played her, I think she was pretty cool. She wasn't,
Yeah.
as Triv pointed out, this kind of lovely looking kind of kid. She was like this skateboarder kid. She fucking talked shit to the cops, like that kind of thing. But I think she was there to illustrate as well the sadness that these two young people were killed and they had such potential. And they demonstrated that potential by looking after this child, which is even all the more the tragedy. I think that's what Sarah kind of represents, the kind of the that they were surrogate parents and they could have been fantastic parents as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. That would have worked.
That would work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would've worked.
Rochelle Davis, who played Sarah in the film, I actually thought she did a pretty good job. She certainly did look the part. You know, she looked like a part that was a child that was not being raised correctly. I kind of really didn't have a problem. I think I don't know. Was she actually part of the comics?
No, she was a creation for
No,
the
no.
film.
Okay, yes, yeah. I think that they just wanted to create that little emphasis. You know, that Eric and Shelley were good surrogate parents for her, and of course, for some reason, we have to have the child endangers cliche that we have in action films. You know, it's like, can we stop using that cliche?
I mean, it was cliche
No.
in the 90s. What does that say about, 30 years later?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't work on you.
No. No, as when Evil Lurk showed us, kids in danger does not affect me whatsoever.
Oh yes.
Or immaculate.
Or immaculate.
Whoa.
No, quiet. I have not seen that movie yet. No spoilers.
No spoilers,
No
but
spoilers.
yeah.
It starred Sydney Sweeney. I'm sorry.
My God.
But you're not a fan of Sydney Sweeney?
No. You just said no spoilers, and I just spoiled it for you.
She's in it. I can't
No.
believe it. She is in fact a nun. It's very big
Oh my
surprise.
God.
As bad as the lads going into fucking cinema to watch fucking, what was it, Madam Web and fucking busting a nut to that. I can only imagine the amount of fucking reprobates going in to watch Immaculate. Ooh, Sydney Sweeney, dressed as a nun, don't mind if I do. Bring it on.
Religious porn is going to be on the uptick.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Take care, Dan.
Later,
Bye, Dan.
Bring it on.
Do you go to hell if you come on a cross?
Oh boy, there goes my channel.
No, Sean's like, I'm not.
Too far.
He said, "That's it. That's it. I can't take it anymore."
I'm sorry, Sean.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Next
I'm sorry.
question.
We apologize for our editor of 88.
Next question. Moving on. Moving on.
We
to
love you, Sean, wherever you are.
I'm waiting for him to come back.
I know there is.
God damn it, Di, stop encouraging her.
I mean, it worked
man.
for The Exorcist.
Exactly.
Um,
Oh my
Yeet,
God,
yeet.
you've left Monty
yeet.
speechless, Jen.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh,
Marty
man.
should have fed me better before we went on.
this is your fault, Marty.
What?
No,
Uh,
I think the
Just
most-
nod your
someone's-
head.
Someone's a Jey Uso fan.
He finished the story.
Your Graham said there was no stupid question.
that was.
Guys, I
we're
forgot
waiting
what
for
movie we're talking about. What the fuck?
So while we're waiting for Sean to come back, obviously, no, during the filming of the whatchamacallit, unfortunately, a prop gun that was not supposed to be loaded correctly. Unfortunately, they shot Brandon Lee with it, and unfortunately passed away. Was very, very tragic. So, horror fan, when you heard the news about this, how devastated were you about hearing of his passing?
Well, growing up, I actually saw Brandon Lee in another film before I saw The Crow, and that was Showdown in Little Tokyo with Dolph.
Yo.
So I watched The Crow growing up, and I was going to look for other Brandon Lee movies, so I saw Rapid Fire. And then I saw when Brandon Lee was killed on The Crow. I said, wait, he's dead? What the fuck?
Ah.
So, unfortunately, little did I know that his legacy ended with The Crow in terms of him actually being here, but his legacy certainly went on as time went on. But I think it's bullshit. It sucks. Tragic. But the memory of Brandon lives on.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Trip?
I didn't find out that he died on the set until a bit later. So I went back and watched it and just was like, like being that they didn't finish the movie, like he died before the movie was completed. You kind of start looking at the shots differently. It's like, oh, the shot from behind is probably this and that and the other thing. And, more time goes on and you learn more about it and whatnot. And the information becomes easier to find. And yeah, there's the whole legend of, oh, well, they killed, Bruce Lee died off and then Brandon Lee died off. Curse. That it underscores the people. Yeah. And I hate that people play into that so much. It's like, let the people be who they were. You don't need to go the route of conspiracy theory with this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's tragic across the board. Yeah,
two
exactly.
excellent actors and people who died tragically young. Leave it at that.
Exactly. What else needs to be said?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Velvet Jen.
Tragedy, absolutely. I found out about it like shortly after first watching it, and it was really fucking sucked. And then I shortly went back and revisited his other films with Little Tokyo and Rapid Fire, and just was like the sheer talent that he showed in his incredibly small catalog that he was able to build, and showed like he really did set out, and he achieved it, in my opinion, of really showing he had a different identity from his father. He wasn't just like a nepo baby that just got in just because of
Daddy.
his dad, just because of his dad. He was an actual skilled martial artist, an incredibly skilled actor that showed a lot of potential and could have been like a total A-lister had his life not been cut so short. And it's a damn shame, but it does add to the poignancy of the film. In a way. It's not remotely worth it to add that poignancy just for his life, but it does sort of add that, like, a film all about loss and kind of working with and living with death. Its lead tragically passed away so young on the set of it. It's you know, it adds to it, but it's still tragic.
Yeah, I agree. It's they basically his life and the films mirror each other, and I can understand, even though it's not one for me, I can understand why people really can, you know, get something from it, and it makes you appreciate it. And we don't know how long we have, and you should appreciate every day and tell the people you love, hey, I fucking love you.
Yeah, which
you know,
I would say
day.
is kind of like the ultimate fucking message behind The Crow is enjoy life while you still can.
Yeah, it's not about hate, as they say, it's not about hate, it's about love.
Yeah.
So yeah, I it's a tragedy, but you know, what a legacy. I mean, some of us live a lot longer and don't have that legacy.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be like some actors whose like legacy is a terrible movie that nobody remembers or talks about. What is it? Fucking Gene Hackman's last movie is Welcome to Mooseport or something.
Yeah,
you know, could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse.
I don't mind that movie.
Of course you don't.
Or there's that thing too about living long enough to become a villain. You know, and look at how many actors kind of go that route just in their personal lives, whether it was sexual assault or whatever it might be. And not that you wish someone young to die, because that's not the point. But yeah, he went out on a high, and I don't know.
Yeah, so Sean just DM'd me. He said it was not Jen. He said his laptop died, so he's trying to go.
No.
Died from shock.
And though God smited down poor Sean's laptop.
Shouldn't it have been our laptop?
I mean, yeah, but God's had shitty aim.
Well, he was aiming for you, but he hit Sean?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Real shitty aim. Real shitty aim.
Kind of reminds me of Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction when he makes that speech. And I will lay down.
Exactly.
That's kind of what led us into this trouble choking.
God damn it.
Thank you, guys.
High five, Jen.
Headbutt. We'll head
there.
There we go.
All right, Marty.
I think there was a kind of double effect of Lee's death. The movie has gained cult status. I think a lot of the admiration for the movie is because it's a solid movie. It isn't a perfect movie, but there is a lot of genuine love and appreciation for the thing that was made. I do think there is this certain collective of people who kind of hold it in reverence, though, because of the whole kind of tragic kind of backstory of Lee being killed. They're like, oh, here's this movie and Brandon Lee was killed in it. And it's like, it's the Bruce Lee curse. And that, I think that sullies it in a certain way. The other thing I think people need to realize as well, two people's lives were destroyed. Brandon Lee and Michael Massey. Michael Massey disappeared for a while. That poor guy, I can only imagine, like, I'm not going to compare him to Alec Baldwin because Alec Baldwin's a prick, but poor Michael fucking Massey, poor Michael Massey, that poor guy was racked with guilt. I mean, you've Baldwin going, it wasn't my fault, I didn't touch the trigger, all this fucking horseshit. Massey, every interview he did, he went on about how fucking he wish he could have taken it back. He wish he did it. That is so sad. It's sad for Lee's family, and it's also sad because he went to the grave feeling fucking racked with guilt over killing Brandon Lee. And I think people could tell him a million times that, look, it wasn't an accident. It was an accident. It wasn't your fault. But I think, like, even till his last days, he was just fucking eaten up with guilt. And that's another tragedy as well. Someone else's life was just to have that hanging over you for the rest of your career must have been an absolute fucking waking nightmare. And I think that's another knock-on effect people don't really talk about.
Absolutely. And there's also another one because Brandon Lee was going to get married right before right, they were going to do it right after the filming.
I believe it was after the filming wrapped, yes.
And I can't imagine losing the love of your life, and you go on, but you're never the same.
Yeah.
So so you just add on.
All right, welcome back, Sean.
Sorry, Sean.
Welcome back, Sean. Back to the downer corner.
Sorry.
You're good.
Okay.
All right. So we were talking about, unfortunately, the tragic event that happened to Brandon Lee. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough one because
Man, you think about the potential of what would have been,
Yeah.
what a career he would have had, I could see he would have done so many great movies. I feel like it was just the beginning, It's sad.
Yeah.
Such a young guy taken so early, so much talent. It's tragic. It really is.
Yeah.
And then, like what Marty was saying, also tragic for the guy that accidentally shot him,
Mhm.
That's horrible too, having to live with that, cut this guy's career short because somebody wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a problem that would happen with Alec Baldwin again, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because I remember the news actually came out actually before The Crow was released about what happened. And I know everyone was shocked. And unfortunately, that's when all the dumbass conspiracy theories started coming out. It's like, oh man, first Bruce Lee dies mysteriously. Now Brandon Lee is like, it's like, come on, guys, we're enough with the conspiracy theories. But yeah, it was a
That's the
very
thing is,
tragic.
Bruce didn't die mysteriously. It was
Yeah,
from
he did.
a prescription drug he took.
Oh, but it was the CIA or
It was
the
CIA, it was
FBI
the
Yeah.
other
or
Chinese
the
government. It was,
EPA or
I heard it was mafia.
it's so fucking stupid.
It was a Yakuza or whatever you want to, it's like, come
Yeah.
on, guys.
yeah.
I heard it was people in black pajamas.
Jesus Christ.
They're
Where do
called
you get that
Vietnamese, Jen.
Don't-
Vietnamese. I
No,
told
don't
time
you know?
and time again.
Of course, as the greatest film of all time, Legend of the Dragon showed us, it was actually a demon that was after his family's curse that he fought to the death.
I've actually heard that.
God damn it.
Oh man.
Weirdly, it was one of one of Bruce Lee's clones that came back from the
How
future to kill
many of
him.
those fuckers murder?
There's a whole subgenre. There's at least like Dan from TYTD would know better than I do, but God, there's at least
There's so many Bruce
7 or 8,
exploitation
yeah.
films.
I know,
Exploitation
yes.
Stuff, yeah.
It's like, come on, it's like, what are you guys doing? Because it amazes me because after Bruce Lee died, and then of course we got all the other films that was made in China, and before it got released back into the States, and then of course then we had the Bruce Lee clones. And it's like, come on, guys, this is.
I mean, is it homage or is it copycatting? Who knows?
It's greedy money grubbing.
That too.
Yes.
Profit.
But I will say, of the ones that I've seen, they are, and I know, no disrespect, they are quite fun. But that's
Yeah.
not
Oh yeah.
the point.
They are, but they are incredible. They're also like, disgustingly made.
Absolutely.
It can be both, absolutely.
I mean, giant black nunchucks that look like boners. That, my goodness.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly.
Yay!
Peak.
Marty,
No,
I need
no.
to get you a pair of nunchucks. Whee!
God damn it.
No, the funny part was back, when the kung fu craze hit out in my grade school, you have guys trying to do the nunchucks and kept hitting themselves in the head.
Were they looking
That's
down?
part of the learning.
Yeah.
They were because they were banned in Ireland when Teenage Mutant Ninja. Well, it was called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles over here because ninja was considered an aggressive term. So that's called Hero Turtles. And the cuts we got, they always cut out the nunchucks. Michelangelo just had the fucking grappling hook, yoke. He never used the
Oh,
nunchucks.
no.
That's why
Oh,
they
man,
gave him a
it's-
grappling hook in the later seasons was because of that.
Nice.
That's funny. Teenage
So-
Mutant Hero. Teenage Mutant
Mutant
Heroes instead of
Turtles.
ninja.
So ninja was a term of aggression, but fecker wasn't.
No.
Oh.
Wow, that was a tangent.
Brandon was
territory.
in Kung Fu the movie. Remember? This
Uh-huh.
little
Really?
young
But the
grasshopper.
turtles were green. So, like, the Irish kids loved them because they were green. I can
True.
say that because my
That's true.
boyfriend's
That's true.
Irish.
That's true.
Yeah, God, yeah. God almighty.
Say it, Marty. Say it.
Damn it, Jane.
Say the line.
Imogen.
That's my I carumba now. That is
You need to have a shirt that just like you hold up every time.
Wile E. Coyote sign.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Dice said something. That used to crack me up. It's just like, why are you trying to do something that you know you can't do, and you bust your head, you keep busting your head up. Those things hurt.
Oh no, nunchucks are super fucking dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those things hurt. And a friend of mine who actually knew how to use them, he gave them to me. I said, "Damn, these things are hard." He says, "Yeah, they hurt." No joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, who's ready for that remake?
I am. I am. Me.
I gotta
Did you guys see who it is? It's Bill fucking Skarsgård, guys. Oh my god, that
Yeah, I know. I did
voice.
want to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bill Skarsgård? I thought it was some shitty SoundCloud
It
rapper.
was Bill.
Dreamy.
Shut up. It was Bill Skarsgård with that beautiful. They're not covering it up like Pennywise, but God, why do they always have to cover up his beautiful face?
Why am I
Oh
jealous
my
of the dude that looks like Skeletor? I don't.
Someone pointed out in,
I
like,
mean,
a
he is
video I
so
watched
dreamy,
that-
guys. He's so
Someone pointed out in
fucking
this
dreamy.
video I watched that one of the tattoo's eyes is his nipple or something.
That's a creative choice, Sean. You went to art school. Be more open-minded. That was fucking awesome.
I was trying to get the image to come onto the screen, but unfortunately, I couldn't find one that wasn't. I couldn't get it downloaded correctly. But then again, I didn't want Jim to salivate.
Exactly. I mean, my God, guys. Let's just look in a minute. I mean, my God. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, I'm here for this. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I should be like insulted or upset, but at this stage,
Clown.
I love you, Carl. It's nothing against you. It's just you have that fucking whore, Margot Robbie. I can have fucking Bill Skarsgård.
okay.
I'm glad somebody's
I mean,
excited.
here it is.
Oh,
I'm glad somebody's excited. God damn eye nipple. God damn it.
I think it's a choice.
It's a stupid choice.
Oh yes, I will, Dice. I will.
Now, Jen, are you gonna make Marty get a tattoo of like the eye nipple?
I mean, that's an idea. Actually, I didn't think of it, but you know what, Triff? Goddamn.
If I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Giving her ideas.
Make it happen.
From Who Framed Roger Rabbit over
Yeah.
you.
You're gonna have
put
to
her in
catch
the
me
dip.
first.
Don't put her in the dip.
Oh man.
You got to
Let's
make
just
your way to
talk
the
about
2D
Roger
plane to
Rabbit
be able to
instead.
get me.
Can we just talk about Roger
No.
Rabbit instead of the Crow remake? That makes me a lot happier.
Okay, like it might not be
I'm going to
as
talk
like,
about Jessica Rabbit.
Uh-oh.
it might not be as iconic as the original Crow, but like, I mean, is there anyone else besides me that can see some good points? I mean, besides just how fucking dreamy Bill Skarsgård is. Oh my God.
Down.
I'm going to back you up, but I'm also going to go against it. My issue is I love Bill Skarsgård, fantastic actor, kicks fucking ass.
Yes, he is.
Why make him Eric Draven? You've already shot yourself in the fucking dick by doing that. I mean, the fact is, that original movie, that character and Lee are held in such high reverence that you're never going to be able to top it. It was obvious the outrage for that. I guarantee you, there's people who bitched about that trailer that didn't even watch the trailer. That said, why the fuck does it have to be Eric Draven? And why does it have to be set in a contemporary time? As I said before, this comic, The Crow Skin and the Wolves, is set during World War II. It has the Crow going after soldiers in a concentration camp to kill these family. If Prey taught us anything, a change of setting, historical setting, is a perfect shot in the arm. It is a perfect way to rejuvenate a franchise. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that. You could have it set in like ancient Rome. Maybe he's a Celt or some kind of Gaelic tribesman who like worships the crow, and his family are murdered by kind of Roman centurions, and he has to go to Rome and murder, kind of like Gladiator, but he's immortal, kind of something like that. You have the comics as a basis, and you have an entire timeline to play around with. Why go back to Eric Draven again? You were literally shooting yourself in the foot, no fucking pun intended, by doing that. And it's
I agree,
right.
but Hollywood
You'll get
doesn't
blood
have
all
the-
over the good sheets.
yeah.
No, Hollywood doesn't have ideas, and they want to. They're banking that people that are our age that want to go see it just to see how bad it is, and then
But
kids.
people our age are going to. Jen, people our age have such a fucking love and affinity for that movie.
Yeah.
You're not
They'll
wrong.
hate
You're
it
fucking yourself over.
regardless.
You're not wrong, but they also said they want the generation now, the kids, to say that's me. I've heard people say that.
See, that's the thing though about it is like
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying that's what they
that's,
said.
that's the issue I have. Like my biggest one is of course the Eric Draven thing, and I'll talk about that too. But like even down to just the design aspect of like this. Here, hey guys, here's the new Crow. Why do they look like a SoundCloud rapper from like 2016? You're not. It doesn't feel current. It feels like some old Hollywood exec who's balding but still has a ponytail going, what are the kids like? How can we get the kids to like the Crow? I know, let's make them Little fucking Peep. Like that's the thing. Let's switch out The Cure and replace it with Post Malone. That's
And Ozzy Osbourne, fuck you
whatever.
all. I liked that song.
That song was,
I liked that song. Fuck you all.
That song was bad when it came
Hey
out.
kids, do you like Jared Leto's Joker? Tough shit.
Yeah, like that's the thing that baffles me about this is like, because especially like if you look at like TikTok and stuff, Gothic subculture and fashion is making a massive fucking resurgence with Gen Z. Why are you then changing it to make him look like a shitty SoundCloud rapper from 10 years ago? It looks irrelevant and it instantly dates the movie. It feels like, and you can tell, yeah, this movie has been in production hell for like 10 years. So, but update the design, change the design. Why are you doing it that way? It looks terrible.
Well, because exactly like you said, they don't have their fingers in the culture. They have it like from they're looking at it through binoculars, on a crappy 98 laptop,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They've got the impression of it, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And like Marty said, why is it Eric Draven? There's so many great stories you can tell. You could tell original, or you could tell you could adapt one of the comics. There's so many great Crow comics that people have never gotten to experience. Flesh and Wolves is great. I love the one called Blood and Bones, which is following a Navajo woman who gets tragically killed on the reservation and stuff, and goes out on revenge. I think that's a phenomenal story. And she's a little bit young for it, but Amber Midthunder's right fucking there. She's a proven success after Prey. She would kill that fucking role. It would be amazing to see her do that. But no, we're just going to rehash the same goddamn story with the same character whose story's already been told and already been tried to copy several times over with the sequels.
I understand that. And I'm not defending that. I would love to see different things. But I think because Bill Skarsgård, whatever you, and I was kidding. I mean, he's a good looking guy, but all kidding aside, he's a wonderful actor.
Absolutely.
And I think we are going to get a little bit more backstory into their thing. So let's not shit on it. It might not be the classic the original was, but it might not be as bad as
I don't want to
everyone's
be one of those
talking on.
assholes who's shitting on it before I've even seen her. Yeah. This is just me giving off my opinions on like stuff we've seen and everything that's come out about it so far. The movie could still surprise me and be really good. I'm sure Skarsgård will do a bang up job.
I think he'll be the same.
But I do feel like it just feels so soulless and so un-Crow, because the Crow at the core, any of the Crow stories are about emotion and just that raw, pure emotion. And this just feels like a corporate money grab of, hey, John Wick's popular. Let's just do a John Wick movie, but title it The Crows. That way we can keep the rights to it and make money off of that for people who remember what the Crow is.
I agree with you guys on that, but that's not what Hollywood's doing, and I just think it's a little unfair. Like I think it could be a good movie in there. I think Skarsgård could be the thing that saves it.
It could be a good movie. I just feel like everything that has come out out about it so far just kind of shows the opposite to it. I just feel
I
like
think some people are hating on it just to hate, though.
Oh, definitely. That's with anything,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
That's with any part of fandom nowadays. But I just feel like there's so much potential here. Like, do Flesh and Blood, do Blood and Bone, do any goddamn other Crowtsu, do original story. And I know you would have people, the woke crowd dipshits going on about, oh well, it took the crow and they made it with a native woman, they made it with a black person, blah blah blah, all of these things. But who cares? Those idiots have been proven that the go woke go broke thing is proven to not be bullshit. People will actually watch it if it's proven to be good, as seen with stuff like Prey or 2019 or 2012 Hellraiser. It's just stupid. It's so stupid.
Mm-hmm. So, Horror Fan 88, I know you've been itching to say this. What was your first reaction when you heard about the remake and then saw Bill Skarsgård's photo?
Let it loose, man.
My first reaction was, "Oh, a new Crow movie, cool." Then they said it's Eric Draven. I said, "God damn it!"
God damn it! That was my exact reaction.
And when I saw what he looked like, I said, "What the hell?" Because he looks more like Michael Corby from the Crow Wild Justice comic.
yeah, he does.
So why the fuck that guy?
Yeah,
Draven. And just see, I'm so accustomed to the Crow having long hair in like several different adaptions, just the sideways mullet. Like, granted, yes, Eric Draven did have a mulletish type of hair in the poof mullet, but this just looks no. But I'll go in with an open mind. But I can't say I'm not going to walk out saying, "Fuck you."
That's fair. That's fair.
That is fair.
I can't argue with that.
Absolutely.
You didn't, though, when you saw him, think, "Oh my god,
I don't think
I want to
so.
take him to bed."
I don't think so. I think this is
I'm
just
right
a
fucking here. I'm right
Also that,
here.
Marty, nipple tattoo, nipple tattoo.
Nipple tattoo,
Dave?
Marty.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I'll get a giant razor and just like.
If you can catch me, have at it. I will have deserved it. But you're gonna have to catch me.
Don't hurt Trev.
So, Trev, what was your reaction when you heard about the remake and then saw the image of Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven?
So I really enjoy the movies. I do, and especially like 2 and 3 were like I love low budget, and these kind of have that feel where they feel like there's maybe not a ton of money behind them, but there's a lot of heart. Despite the everything, like you can tell that they were trying, that there was good actors behind it, whole 9 yards. Plus Iggy Pop, always a good thing. So I'm trying to go into this open-minded. Like it was kind of like when Toxic Avenger, the new one, like that trailer came. At first, you're like, God, the movies for all that they are were kind of or beyond the first one, but this new one has gotten nothing but rave reviews. There's a chance it could be good. There's a chance that there's passion and heart behind it, and it's despite being the same basic character, they're going to do something good with it. And I know that those are very different examples, but I'm trying to go in with an open mind. And the trailer didn't blow my hair back, really. It's like, okay, it feels like, every other movie out there. The question is the trailer showing us the best bits? Is it leading us in directions we don't expect? I don't know. And I agree with you that his look, it looks dated. Mm-hmm. It's not anything special. But I suppose...
But it's Bill Skarsgård, Triv.
That's real fucking and I agree. And he could pull it out and make it fantastical. But until I see it one way or the other, I'm not judging, because even a good actor can have a bad day.
Yeah, exactly.
And a great actor can rise above like mediocre stuff, but you still have to have something behind it for him to be able to act.
True, very true. You've made some really good points.
Well, thank you. I try.
You always do.
Cheers.
All right, Sean. What was your first reaction to the image and the trailer and the announcement of the remake?
Well, when I first heard the announcement that Bill Skarsgård was going to play him. I was actually excited. I'm like, oh, he's a great actor, you know. But so was Jared Leto.
I would argue the qualities is a little different there, but I get where you're coming from.
Yes.
So is Christian Bale, and we've
I'm a
seen what
fan
his
of
new
him.
Frankenstein looks like.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. I'm actually kind of fucking excited for that Frankenstein. They're keeping the key part of Mary Shelley's original idea that most people forget. You're supposed to kind of want to fuck the monster.
That they
Because Mary Shelley was a horny lady, and we love her for it. Jeremy does think he's Jesus.
You know,
I don't want to fuck Jared Leto.
No one.
Oh, well, that's good then, I guess. That's
Hey,
fucking
Jen
great.
has standards.
She does have standards.
Oh boy.
They're fucking weird standards, but they're standards.
Right.
anyway, I felt after watching the trailer, which I just did today for the first time, actually. I'm like, in a film so known for its gothic tone, it's like there's zero of that in the trailer. It's like it just looks like, Velvet was saying, typical standard action movie like John Wick and every other thing. Like another movie Bill Skarsgård's got coming out there, Billy Kills World or whatever.
Yeah.
What's the
Boy
difference?
Kills World.
Yeah.
It certainly looks brutal. I mean, even in the trailer, there's all kinds of blood and guts and everything. But I don't know. I got nothing out of it. Nothing that makes me want to go see it. Whereas the difference when I saw the Crow trailer, I was like, hell yeah, I want to see that immediately.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. A trailer can make or break a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I am interested to see if they're going to, because I know they did it for the Brandon Lee version, but they cut it, was if they're going to do the whole skull cowboy thing.
Oh.
I'm horror fan idiot. I think it seems that Eric seems to go back to a kind of limbo state. There's some other dude in the chair sitting across from him. I'm wondering, is that their equivalent to the Skull Cowboy or something like that?
Yeah.
Did you see the footage with Michael Berryman?
I did. Yes.
Yeah,
He's in it.
it's cool in concept, but execution.
It didn't work well. Yeah.
Well, what did you think, Horror Idiot? Did you think it worked, or do you think it was actually kind of, you could see what it could have?
I think personally, the film works perfect without the character.
Yeah.
I mean, watching the behind the scenes, like when Eric's about to run in the church, he's like, "Stop right there! You don't want to do that." And then Eric's just like, "It's my life. Gotta let me pass." I'm just like, it could have been cool aspects. I'm completely fine without the character overall.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard about the Crow remake, and then I saw the first images, I says, "Why does he look like Jared Leto's Joker?" That was my first instinct about it.
Because everyone loved that.
I said, this is not getting off to a good start. And everyone, I think everyone knows my opinion when it comes to remakes. Movies they're just going to get remade. It's just how it is now. Hollywood cannot come up with anything original. So you're either going to remake something or try to do something with a very popular IP. It's been a long while before we had any Crow movie. But like I said, the sequels didn't do that any good. The TV show didn't do any good. It's been a while. So somebody's decided to dust off. But hey, look, the Crow. Hey, look, let's do the Crow again. And unfortunately, they decided to go what worked. And they decided to bring back Eric Draven's character again. Don't know why. Should have tried to do something a little bit different because, it's going to upset most of the fans that really enjoyed, Brandon Lee's performance. And why are you going to do that? Then that's what happened. Got a lot of backlash for it. I'm assuming that the reason why they didn't decide to do a female version of the Crow was because of the backlash the Silver Surfer female character is getting right now. That's another thing about that.
It's It's so stupid, though.
I know.
It's so stupid.
I mean, you guys.
What
You're
is
not
the
coming
point?
in.
Tell me, what is the point of making this movie? And what was
Money.
it was done so
Money.
perfectly
Money.
well the
Yes,
first
money.
time. It's not like it's outdated. You watch the
Yeah.
movie, it still looks fantastic. It's not like it's cheesy when you watch it now or something. I don't get it.
No, but I do think we might be going in a little. We're going to be getting a little, at least from the way the trailers show. I do think we're going to get a little more backstory, which I'm here for.
I guess that's fine, but like, I feel like at the core, it's not a needed thing. It's
I
just
get
the
that.
original film holds up.
I'm not shitting on the remake, guys, but the cool thing, the Brandon Lee Crow is definitely a beast of the 90s, and it's cool. It does hold up, but keep in mind, this is a generation. This newer generation has the attention span where they have to watch a video that's 32 fucking seconds long.
They're
You're
talking
not
about-
going to be able to do that with recreating something from the 90s. They need, and as fucking Post Malone gobshite looking as he is, that's the fucking aesthetic. That maybe it is outdated as well, though, as Velvet said.
Yeah,
But
I don't.
I don't think you'll get away with a 90s aesthetic. But by Christ, at least have some fucking style. Sean hit the nail on the head. It has no fucking style.
Yeah.
If it had a 90s style, sure.
It has Bill Skarsgård. That is enough.
No,
That
it is
is
not.
fucking enough.
No, it is
Marty.
not, honey. No, it is not.
My love, we're going to have a conversation after this fucking stream. Anyway, no, but at least have some fucking style. And I get it. They're going for the John Wick template. That's the fucking bar that all action
Random
movies
guys in suits in big corridor fight
Yeah.
scenes because we saw Old Boy in the
But-
raid.
But Velvet, that can be altered.
I hope
That
they don't
can
try
be
that.
altered, and that can be changed. If you look at Monkey Man, Dave
No.
Patel's new movie, Monkey
You're right.
Man.
I
you
haven't-
think you're getting that, but they change it up, and that's
Yeah.
that's.
I
what
haven't
you
seen
do
Monkey
with
Man yet, but yeah, I've heard that consistently about the film. And yeah, she could do that, but I don't know. That was a movie. Monkey Man's a movie that Dave Patel had to fight tooth and nail and only exists thanks to Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Studios did not want to make that movie for a
No, you didn't.
plethora of reasons.
Racism.
Racism, homophobia,
Yeah, that's
transphobia, so many
one
reasons.
big thing about that, because that's what I read about some of the stuff he had to go through trying to get that movie made, and thank God for Jordan Peele.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that. I feel like yeah, that movie shows that you can do that. But that movie only exists because of Jordan Peele. This movie exists because of studios, and I feel like they won't take that kind of risk or let them be that creative with it. They just like John Wick's popular and still makes money. Let's just make it like John Wick. Guys in random suits, corridor fight scenes, fast-paced action. Call it good there.
Maybe. I don't know.
I could be wrong. Again, all of this is just from the stuff we
It's
have
conjecture.
and how I feel about it. I still stand. The movie could be good. It could surprise me. This is just my opinions on the stuff we've gotten so far with the movie and my expectations for it.
I get you. I'm weirdly, but then again,
I understand. I understand you. And I'm glad. Hopefully, it will be good for you. But I don't know.
Well,
It's
the
like,
film-
why do a remake when they could have did something like what Marty was saying, something
Yeah.
new and different,
I'd
a
be
new
open to that
story
too.
based on the comics,
Well, Rupert Sanders, he's directing this one. He actually had one good movie, the Snow White and the Huntsman, and then he had the American version of Ghost in the Shell. One was good. I never thought Ghost in the Shell. So, but I can hear the homes already.
Look.
Everyone's favorite Japanese actress, Scarlett Johansson.
Also, Monty, isn't that the dude who fucking
She's
ended
hot,
up-
Jen.
Kristen Stewart ended up leaving fucking Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson
Yeah.
Yep, that's
as
him.
well. Yeah, nice one,
Yeah,
dude.
that was him. Yep. Yep, had an affair on another film he made that she was in it, and it had an affair. I think he was married too.
Yep.
He was like, "Let me show you my dwarves."
You want to see my crossbow?
Hi ho, hi ho,
Right,
hi ho, indeed.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, and this one is being released by Lionsgate. So it's like this. To me, it's just like, well, we'll just have to see. Obviously, based upon the trailer that I saw, it looks like they are focusing more on the relationship between Eric and Shelley. It's not Gothic style. It to me again. I got the John Wick vibes based upon what was happening in the trailer. It's like I said. I hope they're not trying to do John Wick again because it's like this. You can't keep doing John Wick. What works for John Wick works for John Wick. That. John
Wick
Kale
only works in that specific situation. Once in a while, we'll get something like Nobody that kind of surprises, but 90% of the John Wick knockoffs have both been massive financial failures and also bad movies.
And also starring Liam Neeson.
A lot of them do, yes.
As well, yeah, that isn't the first action Keanu Reeves franchise. Everyone tried doing Bullet Time. Remember where everyone was wearing leather jackets and dual wielding fucking guns?
Yeah, that's the problem. You got the mixture comes out and everyone wants to wear skin tight skin tight clothes and do the Bullet Time.
Reeves, stop making action movies so we can get original. For fuck's sake.
I'd be okay if Bill Skarsgård got in leather. I mean, I'd be fine with it.
I mean, we are getting that.
I would like you in leather too, darling.
I mean, we are getting that new, probably terrible Matrix movie. So who knows?
You mean more than what we already got?
Is she done talking about Skarsgård?
About the Wachowskis.
Jen, you know what we need to do to bring Marty back?
What?
Nipple tattoo.
Nipple tattoo.
You
Maybe they could do a Matrix movie with zero sci-fi elements.
Great idea, Hunt. Great idea. Great idea.
Sean, they listen. Don't say it out loud or it becomes real.
Oh man, yeah. So we it's like this. It's like this. We'll just wait and see what the movie comes out and see what happens. And if because it does have Bill Skarsgård in the film, so I really enjoyed some of the stuff. He was great in Barbarian. He was great in It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So let's hope that he actually does something good. But if it's just one of these stupid action ripoff trying to be another John Wick, I'm just gonna say, oh boy, they wasted everyone's time trying to do this.
Yeah.
Eye candy.
I mean, it comes down to this. You're gonna have to. It's hard to do because it's like separating any remake from the original. But you do.
Yes.
Dice, I knew I liked you.
100% genius idea, Dice. I'm for it. Marty, we're making you an appointment.
Dice be rolling.
I know, that's why I said the dice be rolling tonight.
I'm gonna kill both you fuckers.
Marty, you love us.
Dice, you're really living up to your tag that I got you.
No, but you ultimately, when you go into this, as much as possible, you do have to separate it from everything else to be able to give it a fair chance one way or the other. But there is so much attached to, especially the first Crow. It's never, if you go in expecting, I don't know, brilliance, and you're gonna walk away. Expectations for a lot of stuff get put up too high, and you leave it at that. You think if you can go in with an open mind, that's going to be the big thing for any of us going into that movie.
That's very true.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Bill Skarsgård's super hot.
All right, so if we see his ass and he's got like a nipple tattoo on his ass, is that going to make him more hot to you, Jen?
I mean, yeah.
I will forgive the movie if we get a scene where one of the henchmen is just randomly Sting. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if the nipple talked? What? The nipple talked.
Oh man.
It's like the Crow spirit.
I remember that part. I remember that part of the story.
Hey, look, Marty is looking it up to see if Sting shows up in this version.
In all honesty, I see this going two ways for this new film. Either A, wow, that was surprising, it's pretty good, or B, now what you got there is a big old frozen chunk of poopy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Speaking of franchises,
Oh.
Jagged Edge Productions has now come up with a new shared universe called the Twisted Childhood Universe.
Me now.
Well, it's been fun, everybody. Bye.
They're out.
Oh, oh.
Wait, you forgot, the blood and the honey.
I know. The blood and the honey.
I really have to give Ray's Frake, what's his name, Waterfield, and his Jagged Edge production company a little credit. They decided to take all the childhood fairy tales that are now in the public domain, make a whole bunch of independent cheap horror films, and then blend them all together and created the TCU.
TCU.
Yeah. They sure did.
Uh,
Trap. Sorry, I have a little cough right now.
I mean, first of all, we all know Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. A lot of people didn't like the film. Some people obviously trashed it. It wasn't that good. For me, there were some good aspects of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I liked the beginning part of it and the storyboard aspect of it, and Christopher Robin's relationship with the animals. But then it just turned into your typical slasher film with uninteresting characters. Now, some people said that you shouldn't put too much emphasis on the characters because it was a very low budget film. But for me, it's like, but if you're going to make something like that, you're either going to make it like a comedy, but you don't make it as seriously as you did. And I don't know where the problem went awry, but I decided to make a serious film about it. But it's like, what are you going to do? But the film made money. That's a whole shocking. That's a whole shocking that movie made a lot of money because it was cheap to make, and it made a lot of money. And so now we got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Then the trailer for Bambi: The Reckoning. We got Peter Pan's Neverland.
Bambi.
Bambi, Pinocchio's Revenge, and they're all going to come together. And I think in 2025 we're going to have Poohverse. I think what did he called it? I can't remember the title of the. It's called Poohverse Monsters Assemble. Sort of like Avengers Assemble. It's simple.
Oh God.
Oh man! So Marty, what do you think about this? Do you think this was an incredible idea, or it's just simply just this guy trying to make some money?
I gotta say, it proves there's no such thing as bad press.
True.
I think people went to hate watch some of these movies, not realizing you're still giving this fucking bollocks money. But I look, you know what? The dude's a fucking snake oil salesman, but he's a clever snake oil salesman. And I tell you one other thing, Monty, you're gonna fucking laugh your whole life. I liked that Bambi trailer because I was like, oh, it's gonna be another slasher. Oh fuck, this thing is a fucking kaiju xenomorph fucking thing. It's thrown over fucking trucks. And it's what you're getting is essentially a bad fucking sci-fi channel creature feature, and I'm a sucker for them. So that's kind of won me over. I like the idea of a homicidal fucking deer. Like, and everyone's like, fuck that. It
Makes sense.
We got that many. All right,
like, it's the good or bad, the dude fucking knows how to plug his stuff, and he's a clever motherfucker. That's all I'll say about it.
So Jen, what do you think about this? The TCU.
Okay. So I know you and a couple other people know my thoughts. I hated Blood and Honey. And they're not my jam anyway. I'll be the first to say it. People who know me know that I love the extreme cinema and stuff. But the fact that they made it so serious, I was like, Jesus Christ, you're trying to get in the psychic of Winnie the fucking Pooh. Fucking blow me, movie. I was angry. I was fucking angry. And I would have been okay if they would have taken a lighter tone. I would have been okay. And I thought it was a cash grab. I don't think it was made for the love of the genre. But with that said, like Marty said, he's a clever snake oil salesman, and it is cool. They wanted to make these kind of movies since they were kids, from what I've heard, since they were in high school, and they got to make what they did, and they fulfilled their dream. My problem is it makes horror fans. There's certain types of people that look at horror fans and think that Blood and Honey is the kind of overall horror denominator. Like that's all. Puppets and exactly, Dice. but they do, like they make it look like that's all horror is, and horror is so much more cerebral than people give it credit for, and that's what bothered me. It's like they made us all look kind of dumb and like dumbed down, and that's what bothered me. And it didn't feel like it was a love of the genre. It was just, hey, this is a quick way to make some cash. With that said, I have not seen Blood and Honey 2, so I've heard it's better, but that ain't exactly a high bar if you've seen Blood and Honey. I'm not happy about this, though. I'm not fucking happy about it. I think it's a cash grab.
Maybe Bill Skarsgård can make you happy, huh?
Bill Skarsgård wouldn't do this, darling. Bill Skarsgård wouldn't do this.
I could tell Velvet's not very.
No, they won't talk about. That's why they left. They will not talk about it. I will be reviewing the Bambi movie with the love of my life. I love you more than Bill, darling. Obviously, if I'm watching this piece of shit with you, but
could be good. Probably not. Could be good.
but no, like it's just, and I will check out too, just to kind of be fair. But I don't know. I'm not real happy about it. I don't think it's, if it's fun, fine. If people enjoy it, cool. But I have some issues with it. And I probably sound like a douchebag, pretentious asshole. But that's just who I am. So I'm going to embrace who I really am. At least I'm authentic.
What about you, Trip? Because I know you like independent horror films, like something like this. But what was your thought about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and now this shared universe that this guy is creating?
I mean, there's always, when you're talking indie horror, there's always those kind of subgenres that they get put into. If the guy that what was his name, Waterston?
Yeah,
what doesn't matter. Anyway, that guy. If he
Ray,
truly did,
Reyes Frank Waterfield.
Okay. If he truly did say that, like, forget about the characters are not important. I hate that. Like, it really bugs me. Not that if you're talking slasher movies, the emphasis is always going to be on your killer, not on your victims per se. But it feels like such a cop-out because people go, oh, it's low budget. Forget characters. They're not important. It's like, yes, they are. There are so many great low-budget movies that pull character in small ways, and you get a better movie because of that. Mm-hmm. On the other side, agreed. So from that side of it, it's going to be another set of Asylum. I think it's going to turn into another set of Asylum movies either way. And that's a mixed bag because there's great Asylum movies and there are absolute shit Asylum movies, and that goes without saying. Yeah. But my hope, I can see some good in Blood and Honey. Like I unlike Jen, I did enjoy the kind of like the what if aspect of these. It's kind of like Toy Story. It kind of goes into, okay, these characters. He left them because he grew up and went on to live his life, and he leaves these characters there to do their thing. And they go dark as compared to going light, like Toy Story, and it kind of goes from there. But that's kind of they kind of let it go after that, and I can see where it was going. I didn't mind it. Am I gonna watch it again? I don't know. Yeah. And I haven't seen Blood and Honey 2. I caught part of the trailer for Bambi, but I got pulled away. The fact that it's kaiju, I think expanding out. And, for him taking his first steps with Blood and Honey, maybe that was just like, you learn from your mistakes, especially if he's, a young filmmaker or whatever it might be. Or you go, okay, this is what I want. But then in doing it, you realize, that kind of went, south quick. So hopefully he learns from it and produces better stuff.
Good points. I agree with you, Drew.
That's my $10 word speech on the subject.
So what about you, horror fan? Did you actually see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
You
I like it. You even got the hair.
Mhm.
Nice.
I will not have that many great intelligent thoughts about this. All I have to go on is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Mhm.
I watched it. I thought the kills were pretty cool in some aspect. Now, I'm no stranger to low budget horror. I've watched a lot of it all my life.
Mhm.
You know, I thought it was some decent parts, but for the most part, it was just a little too not my thing, I suppose. In terms of like the trailer for Blood and Honey 2 that I saw, that looked a little better. You know, it looked higher quality, and
Mhm.
I have not seen the Bambi trailer yet, but yeah, I know you also got a Mickey Mouse horror movie coming. And
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's two, right, Monty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
it's
is.
two. It's two based upon the Steamboat Willie, because that went to the public domain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they actually had that movie already made, but they couldn't. They have to wait until the Steamboat Willie character hit the public domain before they released it.
Mhm.
yeah, like once again, I'm no stranger to this shit. I grew up watching shit like Scarecrow, like that.
Woohoo. Yeah.
So I definitely respect the filmmakers for getting to do what they wanted to do, and whether
Mhm.
liked or not liked, they made a movie. I
Yeah.
haven't.
I know, yeah. You really have to give him credit that the fact that, from what I understand, it only took them 8 days to make Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but they still went on ahead and made the film. So, you give them credit for doing that. And I'm pretty
Oh, yeah.
sure that, he and everybody else on that film, worked their asses off in order to get the film made. So give them credit for that. So I'll always give them credit for that. What
And
about
it
you,
turned
Sean?
out looking pretty solid too. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, put it this way: as far as production wise is concerned, yeah, it was some good production value in it, and I did like some of the kills. There were some good practical effects that were used in the film.
Mhm.
What about you, Sean?
Well, like Monty said, I was kind of intrigued, oddly, of the initial concept of the story. I was like, oh, that could be fun, but like you said, they probably did take it much too seriously with such a low budget film. They probably could have put more tongue in cheek into it.
Mhm.
But I'm not above a cheesy low budget slasher, but you should have. But like Triv was saying, you can still have interesting, quirky like characters that make the film fun at least. But they probably took it too seriously. But from what I hear, the second movie is a lot better, bigger budget, and
Yeah.
they made the characters look better. We'll see. But yeah, could have been better. They could have done a lot more with it. But hey, the guy laughing all the way to the bank, apparently. So,
Yeah.
he did something right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the OG. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it to me is this, because I heard, a lot of people said that there's a vast improvement. I have not seen Blood and Honey 2. I have not seen that yet. Um, I saw the Bambi teaser thing, and it looks okay. I really don't know because I thought that the Bambi looked pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, but we just have to wait and see. Hopefully, if everything works out, I hope everything works out for him well. Because I always like to see independent filmmakers do very well because it's very hard to get a film made. And like I said, he made a movie, and unfortunately, we did not. Then that's the bottom line of it. I think hopefully he learned from his mistakes from the first one, and make some vast move because based upon I think on the Rotten Tomato scores, it got a very high audience score.
Cool.
Audience
I
score.
saw
So
that.
mhm.
The only thing I'd like to add, though, is that there are so many great independent film horror movies that are actually like low budget, but are actually good and put a lot of thought into there and really original ideas. I wish we were talking about those films a little bit more than what they did. They just kind of took a gimmick and ran with it. That's kind of what bothers me with this a little bit.
I could see how that would bother people, that are into the indie stuff and want something creative and original, and here they're just taking some character that used to be Disney or whatever, and running with it.
Yeah, that's my big issue with it. I don't want to come off. I know I probably come off as a snob anyway.
you
but we
don't.
love
no.
we love our independent here, and there's so many great movies that hardly get heard about, and you're like, and then this one blew up, and it's like you don't deserve it.
Yeah, they're making so much money off it when these little indie movies that a lot more care and creativity went into are not making that much money.
Well, sorry, Jeff. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it's kind of like YouTube, like the algorithm picks random things and blows them up. And I guess I don't know, like I'm torn because I think that the fact that it was made in 8 days, the fact that they've been trying to make this for a long time, I appreciate the fact that there was thought beyond the base material put into it. I don't know. I see 100% where you're coming from, Jen. I don't know.
But you still got to respect the hustle. I get where you're coming from too.
Yeah,
you got to respect the hustle. Yeah, you do. You got to give them that.
I mean, because like is a Killer Llama movie, and regard it obviously doesn't have the base, but like Killer Llama or what is it, Llamageddon? That's it's based off of a killer llama or I don't know, Killer Donuts or whatever, or Sharknado. All of those things. Not that forget the third option, the third thing. That was a bad example, but there is that bombastic nature to a lot of these indie horror movies, and I don't know, like they deserve to exist, and it is purely random chance.
Yeah,
that it could go and do the thing. So I don't know. I guess time will tell.
Time will tell. Yeah. But there are like other movies, like there was a movie we did called Stranger in the Woods. That was a really good movie that nobody heard about, but had insight. And then there's Tigers Are Not Afraid, came out a few years ago. That only by the grace of God did it even get to make it to Shudder. There's all these other movies that you just want to go, wait a minute, guys, these actually have thought. And but I get where you're coming from too, because people need fun. Like even me, you need Orphan First Kill, as Marty can attest to. People need their fun movies too, but it's just like you said, it's the luck of the draw, and it is very much like YouTube. That's a good parallel.
You about to say something, Marnie?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just excited if they end up doing live action stuff like Old Yeller, Blood Redder. It's like
Cujo. Oh God, not Old Yeller.
It's like Cujo, but it's Old Yeller, and he's got a big fucking shotgun wound in the head. The kid never finished him off, and he's just going around fucking. I'm excited for that. I'd like to see that movie.
He's my dog. How would you do?
Well, he just killed the goddamn neighborhood, so shoot him proper next time.
Now that Trib was talking about that, I could see Toy Story being one of those.
Probably.
We can do a lot with that.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, this is really one of those things where there's always that trend. One sets it off. It goes for a little while and then it kind of dips away. And I think this is going to be a lot that too. Not quite the same way that like superhero movies do it, but I do think that that's probably going to be a thing that comes and then it goes, and then, give it 10 years and like 3D movies, it'll pop back up again a bit. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I said, we got this, and there's the Cinderella horror films that are coming out. One is called Cinderella's the Revenge, and I forgot what the other one was. And it's like, it's like some of them are actually taking the actual dark versions of the Brothers Grimm stories. But a lot of people forget that the Brothers Grimm stories were dark fairy tales. They were not the cheerful, playful things that we grew up with. They were actually, the Brothers Grimm actually wrote dark fairy tales.
Mm-hmm. Why don't they do the Little Mermaid, the actual ending to the Little Mermaid? That'd be a great one. I love the ending to the original Little Mermaid. Yay!
Of course you would love the ending to the Little I love you, babe, but you're a misanthrope.
You know, DVD and Film Blog brings up a good point. Doesn't demonic toys exist? Also, both the kid in Toy Story and Child's Play are called Andy. Yeah,
Yep.
you do definitely have that as well. So,
that would like the Toy Stories versus demonic dolls.
oh god,
Yeah,
demonic
yeah.
dolls would kick their asses.
I'd agree. Yeah.
They had Puppet Master versus the demonic toys, man.
Yeah, didn't they have Puppet Masters versus demonic toys? They did that.
Oh yeah, all those full moon
that was all
crossovers.
clips, though. That was
What
all
was it?
recycled clips, I think.
I don't remember. It's been a hot minute, but there was even like I was looking through movies, and there's a Humpty Dumpty horror movie.
Yeah, I
that
know.
has come out.
There it is.
There it is.
I've seen it.
Our childhood is no longer safe. Like I said, I'm just waiting for they finally come up with a peanut tar movie.
It's the tree, isn't it, Monty? It's the kite-eating tree. That could be so many metaphors.
Yeah. No, Charlie Brown finally gets his revenge on Lucy for pulling the football underneath his leg.
The kite-eating tree could be a metaphor for sexual awakening because, you know, it's a bush. Trees are bushes, right? So, you know, it's a metaphor. Like teeth.
Jen, I want a Calvin and Hobbes that's like fucking Fight Club.
Oh, that would be cool. Let's get this thing kickstarted.
I'm telling you, the tiger ate him. Sir, you're covered in blood and gore. You've obviously eaten the fucker.
Just opening with that would be cool.
It turns out that Hobbs is a real tiger.
No one fucking believes me.
It's not a pup. It's not a little cute little what you call it? It's a real tiger, and he can get your revenge on anyone that bullies him.
As long as the animation quality isn't that of the live action Lion King, we're in great shape.
My day, Chucky Pool.
Oof.
Oh
yeah, Lasagna Cat as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Garfield.
Wait, Lasagna Cat, the comic strip, are they talking about?
It's a YouTube series that's kind of spoofs on Jim Davis and Garfield the comic as a whole. It gets dark quick.
Yeah, there's one where like there's a girl putting her baby in the toilet. I think yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. My housemate John was influenced by his he done a Garfield Gramfell. That's his parody of Lasagna Cat.
Nice.
And isn't there one Garfield without Garfield too? I think.
Oh yeah, it just makes Jim look like a fucking psycho.
Yeah,
it's like talking to no one.
Yeah, because they got new Garfield movies coming out.
Oh yeah, they do.
And he looks adorable. Damn it!
I know, right?
Yep, they say he's going to get bigger.
Well, he's a baby cat. I hope he's going to get bigger. It'd be weird if he didn't. That pussy is going to grow.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
If they start doing the Peanuts, I would ruin my childhood.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. When Banana Splits came out, I did a review of it, and one of the people in my audience said, "Oh my gosh, I grew up on Banana Splits. This ruined my childhood." And I get it, 100%. But yeah, no, it's. I think we're coming to that point where it takes a toll on a lot of people and kind of the things that they held dear as a kid.
Because I saw the Banana Splits movie, I was actually impressed. I really enjoyed the movie. I actually thought it was a good concept.
I enjoyed the kills; they were great.
Oh yeah,
there were some things about it,
like that whole lollipop going down the guy's throat. I mean, that's a fantastic kill.
Yeah.
Did anyone else get horny during that scene?
Can't say I did, but
no.
Me neither. Me neither.
Marty, you have anything to say?
I got fuck all to say. There's nothing left. There's just nothing left to say.
Okay. Any last words as far as the Crow is concerned?
Bill Skarsgård looks awful hot.
Besides that,
I'm not one of these guys who hopes the movie fails. I just hope that maybe because it's a teaser trailer, there is some style or substance we're not seeing. But as both Monty and Jen pointed out, at least they are pushing the Eric and Shelley element. And Bill Skarsgård, even though fucking not
What'd you say? Speak louder for those of us in the back.
you fucking heard me. Anyway,
I can't hear shit.
no, but if anyone can pull off the character, I think he can. I just think it's just a bad tactical error of being Eric Draven. It's you've already fucked yourself over as far as I'm concerned.
yeah. Well, let's just hope that the screenplay is decent and we get to expand on their characters, and hopefully Bill Skarsgård actually does a good job in playing this role. That's the only thing we can hope for.
Yeah. And he's in leather.
He's not in leather. He's just wearing a.
We don't know. We haven't seen all the film. There could be a special teaser.
Hey, look at this.
I see Velvet's back.
Velvet, that was an entrance worthy of the Crow.
I know. Yeah, that was a good one.
Indeed.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so Horror Fan 88. What I like to do is when I host a show is I like to give everyone a chance to go on ahead and give a free spill. So what's coming up on your channel?
Well, I'm actually going to be getting my channel back up again. I kind of lulled there for a while and didn't upload for like months.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of different ways to kind of reboot my channel in a way, do some different things. So with that being said, hopefully that gets set up soon. But at the same time, I would like to thank everyone for having me on.
Awesome
Yeah.
guest.
It was
You
great
were
to have
awesome
you, dude.
guest.
Yeah, thanks.
You
I
are
hope you
eloquent
were not.
as
I hope you were
amazing.
not embarrassed by Jen.
I'm sorry. I have to say this to all the guests. I'm sorry.
True.
No, your type of humor is needed. Perfect.
I don't know if I go that. I don't know if Marty would go that far.
All right, Marty. What's coming up on the Trash Picture Show?
Me.
I'm trying to get something. I'm trying to get something organized for Alien Day, which is coming up on the 26th. Myself and Jen, we're doing a trash fire in relation to a new release, and I still have to do my Which is the Better Tin sequel, the comics or the video game. So hopefully I'll get that up and out soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, Jen Velvet. What's coming up on Jen Reviews from the Grave?
Well, there was a family member that need our attention right now. So the videos you've noticed have been, but we've kind of started to get back. There will be a Tales from the Crypt out pretty soon, and we're going to try to get a few more videos filmed that we've kind of missed on because of you guys. Some of you guys might have noticed, or maybe you haven't. Maybe they're glad.
Hiatuses keep happening, and we don't like it. But
My mother keeps breaking her hips. If you want to know, true story.
True story.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. She's
but
better.
yeah. So
Good.
yeah,
That's
how
good. That's good.
So that's how that is. But hopefully, should be back to semi, sort of, kind of regular scheduled uploads here quickly.
Yeah, and we have Immacula and the
First
Omen. First Omen, if anyone would care to see it.
A possessed pregnant nun double feature.
Yeah.
Nunsploitation for life.
Exactly.
And Jen dress up as a nun.
Yep. Yep. And am I wearing lingerie under there? Only Marty knows.
That's idiot.
God damn it.
Jen and Velvet, you are second to none.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
All right, Trib, what's coming up on the Trivia Theater?
Well, sorry, I cannot speak. I dropped a discussion about Society a couple weeks ago. If you get the chance, check it out. It's not a terrible thing.
Fuck yes. Love that movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
No, yeah, I'm good.
Oh my god, so awesome. Coming up next, I'm kind of behind on my solo reviews. I'm going to be doing The Boys from County Hell, and I'm also working on, as part of my 5-year celebration, kind of a riff extravaganza with a bunch of random people doing riffing on PSAs. So we'll see how that goes.
Always a good time. Congrats.
Yeah, that's
That
always
is
a
the
good
hope.
time.
Knock on wood, I can pull it off. But like you,
sure.
life kind of keeps doing things, and you want to hit it with a baseball bat and say, "Stop it!" But
believe me, I hear you.
All right, Sean, what's coming up on the Horror Corner?
I'll have a review that's going to be dropping shortly of The Ghost Galleon.
Ooh, nice.
And later this month, The Morbid Hour, Mr. Horror Fan 88. We're going to be talking about the Omen franchise, including the first Omen. So looking forward to that. I'm going to be doing I'm taking part in the franchise frenzy thing that the Horror Man and Horrific Nightmares JM started there.
Very cool.
Yeah, so.
And of course, I have my reviews of Godzilla X Kong. Of course, my great announcement of that one that starts that video off, the first Omen. And hopefully I should have my review of Baghead once I get a chance to watch that.
Nice.
Watch that. That's coming up on my channel.
Nice. Very cool.
Okay. Nice. So once again, Horror Fan 88, want to thank you for coming on. I was glad to have you on. Always good to have someone that actually loves The Crow come speak with us. And of course, want to thank everybody in the chat, especially Dice Rolling, because she was really rolling on tonight. And of course, once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember that horror rules. All right, everyone, good night. And please stay safe out there.
Bill Skarsgård's penis.
Lana Waller.
And on that note.